Hello, you're watching Tech Flashback, a PC gaming and hardware news live show focused on the biggest stories of the past week. I'm your co-host, PC Jack, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host, Jerry of Top 3 Entertainment. We've got a lot of interesting stories we're going to be going over in today's episode, so before we begin, we'll carry it on and we'll roll that intro. Let's go. And I did make some fixes, like Jerry. I did tell you we fixed some of the like sort of header banners, whatever you want to call them. And unfortunately, I didn't realize your Instagram one is incorrect. But I'll fix that for the next,
It's fine.
the
It's
next
fine.
episode. But yeah,
I know.
how is life with you, Jerry?
Oh, it's pretty good. It's my Friday, so tonight I get to rest and chill. Um, I watched Thor this weekend. I don't know if you like the Marvel
Oh,
movies.
yes, I went to see it as well.
Oh, nice. What'd you think about it?
I enjoyed it. I like if we're just comparing it to other Thor films, I didn't think it was as good as Ragnarok, but I still really enjoyed it. To be fair,
Yeah,
what did you think?
yeah. I liked it. The whole way through. I see a lot of people are saying it's a crappy movie. I don't know. I don't know if it's a crappy movie. I thought it was entertaining. I liked it. I feel like I got my money's worth for sure.
I feel like it's more people that are complaining in regards because it's a bit of a debacle when it comes to visual effects for Marvel now. I don't know if you've been keeping up with that on Twitter,
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it.
but it's a lot of cherry picked frames from random films and like look at how terrible the visual effects in this scene is, and it's like a split-second
Yeah.
frame they've chosen. It's like, well, really? I don't know if you saw the rest of the film. I thought the special effects were pretty good, all things considered. But there is an article going around about a couple of former Marvel visual effects artists are actually complaining that there's a lot of crunch when it comes to the projects that get sent over from Marvel. Uh, could be something that's like comes up a bit more over the next couple of months, perhaps, because they put up a thing comparing it was the amount of hours per Marvel phases. So it was like something like 25 hours for phase three, like the previous one just gone, and for phase four it's like 50 hours, something like ridiculous. Which if you
The
compare
only
it to like,
thing The only thing is they also included the TV shows in that chart for this
that's
phase,
why,
so that's
yeah.
kind of unfair.
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I guess technically they do need the manpower for the graphics on there, but is that cheating?
I don't know. It's how they're treated is the main thing as well. Anyway,
Yeah.
but no, when it comes to Thor: Love and Thunder, I really enjoyed it, and I really liked Christian Bale in it as well. Um,
Yeah, see, that's one thing I can agree on. People complaining that they should have showed him more, or they should have showed him killing gods more. I can
yeah, I
agree. That
could
would have
see
been nice.
that. Yeah, but I did find that like there was one sequence like none of this is like spoilers. We won't go into spoilers because it only came out a couple of days ago. But there's a sequence in his like sort of like realm or planet, whatever you want to call it, where everything is
Yeah.
like black and white. I thought that whole sequence was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That's cool, especially with the hammer.
Oh yeah, but then like it was black and white, but then when something's illuminated like by like lightning or something like that, you could see the color come back. Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The Thor hammer, or the what is it? I don't know how to say it. Mjolnir. When it was
Moine?
Yeah, when it was lighting up, it lit up. It brought color back to whatever the light was touching.
Yeah,
I thought that was
I
really
thought that
cool.
was really cool.
Yeah,
Um, some of the jokes were a bit like I don't know, but I found some bits were pretty funny. Like those goats kept getting to me. The ones that just
yeah.
kept screaming.
I don't want to. I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, there's that scene where they popped up, it just randomly,
Yeah.
to help. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
But no, I won't go too far into it because obviously it's very new. But I really enjoyed it. I think people shouldn't sleep on it. I think they should try and like get form their own opinion on it because I think people are too quick to like see someone's response on Twitter and think, oh no, that's not for me then, and just leave it at that. But
Yeah,
it's a good
yeah,
film.
man. I really thought it was gonna be like really bad, like because before I saw it on Saturday, so it was already out for a day or two. And like the tweets I saw of it, people were saying like, "Oh, this is not it," like they dumbed down Thor. This too funny. And I saw it and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I was expecting like a terrible, like I don't know. I just was expecting something else, but maybe that made it better for me, if anything,
Maybe.
because I got the opposite.
But the thing to remember is that like people didn't like it when Thor was really serious back in the day. So
Yeah,
like they had to change it up. I don't know if they've maybe done it too much for this one, but I'm getting on with it, and I thought it was good. But yeah, You been up to much else? How is the channel life treating you?
The channel's good. I was gonna say, I've recently my shorts. Yeah, that sounds funny. But I did a couple shorts, and they're getting good views, and then I get subscribers with them too.
That's
So
good.
yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I did see because
One
obviously
for
you put up it's quite relevant to what I was just about to ask about. You put up a short yesterday, I think, about your air conditioner had packed in,
yeah,
and I was like, oh, that's a shame. I was like, because we're in the US, we don't have air conditioners generally. It's not
in the
what
UK.
in the UK most houses are just built to keep as much heat in as possible. But then when a heat
That's
wave turns
crazy.
up, when a heat wave shows up like this week, the houses is just like a sauna basically. So like
Yeah,
I'm currently in my office, which is upstairs, which is possibly like the worst place possible because it's a really small room. So
and
all that
heat
heat is just
rises.
built up all day. Heat rises, and there's a computer in here.
Yeah, I know, man.
uh, so it doesn't work really well. But like it's like, oh, you can't stream because your aircon's not working. Shame. That's a shame. I can't
Yeah,
emphasize that too much. But like, no. So I'm just complaining. I'm not getting on with this heat wave very well. But
yeah. Well,
no. See,
like you said, your
that's it.
computer's on, and then I got the rig with 3 GPUs on in the back. So imagine me trying to do that, and 4 computers on at the same time with no AC, and it's 105 outside, which is what, like 40 degrees Celsius where you are?
105 is 40 Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius, is it?
I think so.
I'm getting Americanized when it comes to these like temperatures. I'm gonna
Yeah, that's crazy. I did the math that fast. I don't even know how I did that, honestly. No, I think that's right.
so 100 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius is 40. Yeah, see, so if I was right where you are now, I'd probably be dead, basically.
Yeah.
Because over
Yeah,
here,
that's how it is outside.
they've forecasted the hottest it's going to get this week is 30 degrees Celsius. So that's not even where you're
But
at the moment. But over here, because of
yeah,
how humid it is in the UK, that is like old people just die, basically. It's
yeah,
that bad.
yeah, I believe
Um,
that.
Twanas,
See
welcome
what that's funny.
to the stream. He's just picked up on here now. Said in us in Seattle, a lot of buildings don't have AC built into them because it normally doesn't get hot in there. Well, that's basically the same thing for the UK. Like we're a country that's based on like exceptionally terrible weather, basically. So when we do get the odd week or two where we have a heat wave, and a heat wave for us is 30 degrees C, which to me sounds like that's like a normal like temperature for you guys. So we just can't handle it, and the houses are just built to keep as much heat in as possible. So we're kind of stuffed, and I'm just left in like a puddle of mess when I'm trying to sleep. but what
It's
can I
funny.
do? I can't do that. Was
Where I
that
lived in California, I didn't have air conditioning because I kind of live close to the beach, and it was about 70 degrees year round, give or take, like average. Um,
okay?
Fahrenheit. So I didn't really need a AC, but when it did get a little hotter, same thing. But it didn't get too bad. I lived in an area that had like perfect weather, man. Like it wasn't too hot or too cold, like year round. In the winter, it'd get a little more chilly. Like I'd have to put on a light jacket or something, but not. Yeah, I kind of
See,
that's one thing I miss about it.
over here we'll have this decent weather for like the next like week or two, and then after that, like from August, it'll be like just absolutely pouring down with rain. The odd dry day, but nothing like exceptionally hot for like a typical summer. So it's usually like I think it was about the same last year, but like it was absurdly hot last year for us. But I'm also just useless with the cold. The cold with the heat anyway, so I'll just complain about it all the time. But it's fine. I'll survive.
Hey, do
But
you own a trench coat?
do I own a trench coat?
Yeah.
I think I've got like a black one. It's more like a trench coat like you'd sort of wear for like a funeral or some sort of formal engagement like that. I don't wear it very
Yeah.
often though. I should chuck that on today, clearly.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of messed up. One of my coworkers, he's a younger guy. He's all, I was at the, he's all, I was at a funeral of my friends this past weekend or whatever. I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He's like, yeah, it was pretty sad. He's like, I met a girl there though. He's also, we're gonna go on a date this weekend. I was like, okay. I guess that works.
No, I like to think I've been to quite a few funerals, but like are they? I wouldn't say they're typically known for being like hookup spots,
Yeah.
essentially.
So yeah, I'm not a funeral crasher either, but hey, whatever works for him. I was like, that's odd.
I suppose I could see that, but there you go.
maybe keep an eye out for her, huh?
Exactly. We'll have to keep an eye out. So, how about we get into our first topic for today? I don't have a lot to say on this, but I just thought we'd add this on from last week's stream. So, last week we were discussing the fact that there's been a lot of controversy with people harassing female developers for God of War Ragnarok to try and get the release date. And their prayers have now been answered, as we now have a release date for God of War Ragnarok. So, in this article from Games Radar, they've said that the God of War Ragnarok release date has been confirmed for November 9th. Sony announced the release date in a tweet earlier today with an accompanying trailer dubbed Father and Son. The action begins with Kratos and Atreus battling their foes atop a snowy cliff before Kratos is knocked into the abyss. It's a rough fall, but not the kind of thing that slows down a god. We get to there, blah blah blah, and it gives us the actual release date at the end of the trailer. And yeah, so after having all this controversy going on over the past couple of weeks with people just harassing developers, it's nice to see that they have actually come out and announced this date. And I gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting it to come out this year. I know I can't say too much because it's not going to be on PC immediately. I'm guessing it will at a certain point because they bought the first one. But I was really surprised to see it actually get a release date for this year, with a lot of games getting delayed. And I'm going to be interested to see how this is going to have some sort of implications for Game of the Year now, because a lot of people are saying it was going to be competing pretty heavily with Elden Ring, which remains to be seen. What was your thoughts on this now? Because we obviously we spoke about this, Jerry, didn't we, last week, and more so the controversy, but not so much the game itself. But you're still, I'm guessing you're waiting on that. You're waiting on that God of War Steam sale, aren't you? Probably. Am I
Yeah,
right?
I haven't finished. I haven't finished the first one yet. I have it. Well, I kind of have it on the PS4, and
Okay.
I got maybe a quarter of the way through, and then I stopped playing it, and then yeah, I never picked it back up. So, like you said, I'm waiting for it to go on sale on PC so I can try it out again.
Okay,
But
that makes sense. Did you actually enjoy what you played of it though on PlayStation?
yeah, that was my first time actually like owning a God of War game. Like maybe before I'd play it at my friend's house or I played God of War 3 remastered, but I felt like it was too late by then for me.
I think I only
So
would have played God of War like one or two back in the day, but not extensively. Nothing like this. Like when I picked up God of War on PC, that was the first time I played it in maybe like nearly 20 years, something like that.
yeah,
But no, I
so I
was quite
was
pleased to see this game released though. Um, Whether it competes with Elden Ring is the thing I'm more interested in, because I can't comment too much. So I'm not going to play it until it comes to PC. I'm not going to buy a PlayStation 5 for this, unless it's on PlayStation 4 as well. I'm not too sure.
yeah.
But
I
have
don't
you played Elden Ring as well?
I hope not.
You hope not.
I hope it's not on the PS4. I don't want them making games for the old consoles no more, so they don't get held back
Okay, I can
on
understand that.
potentially.
Yeah, that was a bit of a controversy when it came to like Cyberpunk, especially. Um, but yeah, I can totally understand that. It does kind of limit them in a sense to like be like, oh, we need to make sure we're thinking about previous generation hardware for when we develop a game. It kind of sucks if you're still stuck on previous generation hardware,
I
but then at the end
understand.
of the day, we need to progress. It sounds really horrible to say, but
Yeah, it's very terrible for a tech flashback podcast that we need to go forward.
what can you do? It's the same case like well, it's not quite the same thing, but there was a bit of a debate when the next gen patches for Resident Evil came out on PC, because when they updated the games, it actually shifted them from DirectX 11 to DirectX 12, which bumped up the minimum and recommended requirements for the game. So it could mean if you were on that very cusp of like old hardware, just one update could mean like you can no longer run that game.
Yeah,
Do you know what
you're
I mean?
barely hitting 60 frames, like
Exactly.
at a
Just
high.
because they shifted the actual game's API to DirectX 12, they did roll back on
Oh,
that though, so you can access both versions now, which is good. But that is like a bit of a limiting factor, but there. But at least for PC, it's a bit more accommodating in certain
yeah,
situations.
that's
But
true.
yeah, what like we said last week, what are these like God of War like over the top fanatics gonna do now? Like they got their request. I don't know if it was more so because of their like
It
terrible
worked.
behavior. They're like, yes, it worked, guys.
Oh, last week we're saying it's not gonna work. Why would you do that? And all of a sudden, they got it. So is this what you want? Fine, just take it.
Maybe they'll do that for Starfield
Yeah,
now as well. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's true.
Yeah, I didn't have much to really add on it. I just thought it would be good to make sure we addressed that they have actually given the release date after we were discussing it last week. I'm not sure if you had anything else to add, Jerry. You gonna check out God of War Ragnarok after you get God of War 1 first? Not 1, but God of War PC, and then you'll move on to that one?
Possibly, we'll see. It would be nice to get this game as soon as I can so I can benchmark it.
Hmm. That'd be true.
That's always nice, but we will see. Um, I'm always trying to add new games to my benchmarks too. I still gotta play. I gotta finish Halo. I think I have like one more run to do live, and I'll pass the story. I'm literally like on the last chapter, I think, of the game,
Oh, nice.
and then I still got Guardians of the Galaxy and Assassin's Creed and Far Cry.
Do you use
Yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy much for benchmarking?
I've never used it at all. I've never even played it. It's on
Oh,
the
you've never
Xbox
played
Game
it?
Pass.
That would be a good one to use, I would say, particularly because it's has it got DLSS? I'm not too sure. I know
Does it?
it's a ray tracing title, so that could add like a bit more of an interesting dynamic for testing. Besides that, it's a really good game. I was quite
Oh
shocked
yeah,
how good it was.
I've heard. Yeah, I was surprised too. I honestly thought it was gonna be a crappy game because like the Marvel games have been kind of not so well, except for Spider-Man maybe.
Yeah, the Avengers one wasn't very well received. It was kind of just a
Yeah.
bit like grindy, but this was really good and it had a really decent story. I thought. I was thinking about replaying it sometime soon because I completed it when it first came out. No, that's what it was. So I picked up that game as a reward because it came out around the time that I started to quit vaping. So I
Yeah.
think to like reward myself, like, oh, the money I was going to spend on vape juice or whatever, I'll spend it on a game, and I chose that game, and I think it was pretty worthwhile like investment. I got like it's like a 17-hour campaign or story at least,
Yeah, not bad.
and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's
It was
free.
really good,
It's free on Game Pass.
and yeah, exactly, and it's free on Game Pass. It's even better. No, it's a good game. I definitely like do. I wouldn't mind using that more for like testing and stuff like that.
How
Um,
was the soundtrack?
it was really good actually. It was a bit more. The films tend to have a bit more like a sort of like classic rock, 80s like 70s vibe. This has that, but a bit more like sort of like rock metal tracks. I want to say.
Oh, okay. So
I
more
don't I
like
don't I
more
don't want
like
to say
classic.
I don't want to say Motley Crue is in it, but it's Motley Crue sounding metal. If that
Okay,
makes
so it's
sense.
like classic rock then. More yeah, I get what you're saying. So Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses ish.
Glam rock style. That makes sense.
Okay.
No, I thought it was really good. Twanna's sponsored lol. I don't know who is sponsored. I'm quite sure who you're referring to. I
Yeah.
figure out. but
Well,
no, what ones are you thinking about adding to your benchmarking station?
I'm not too sure yet. I barely arted. I barely
Hmm.
added Far Cry 6. So we'll see what goes from there. I might take off Gears 5 since I added Far Cry 6. I'm trying to make it like I have Call of Duty on there, which is like an NVIDIA game. Oh, Modern Warfare 2, when that comes out, I'm gonna replace Cold War finally.
Oh, okay, right,
Yeah. Um, I'm trying to add because like Far Cry is more AMD based, so I feel
right.
kind of like sometimes the performance of the AMD cards are better. And sometimes I'm just like, well, is that just because this game was like made with these specifically? So obviously the architecture is a little better for it. But so I'm trying to get some games that are a little balanced in that regard. So I'm trying to do like half NVIDIA games, half AMD games. Um, but obviously whatever comes out is what I use. Like Tomb Raider has DLSS on it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's an old one too. I only use it because
I was
everyone
just
likes
about
to
to
use that
say,
one for some
yeah,
reason.
that game is I say getting on. It's a couple of years old, but it's still in like
Yeah, it's like
loads
four.
of benchmarking videos. It's quite
Yeah.
surprising.
So yeah, that's the only reason why I still keep using it is because I see everyone else use it, so maybe they can, compare results or whatever.
Is that game good? I've still never played it.
Never played it. The only
Just benchmarked it. I just live
yeah,
for the benchmarks.
I played Tomb Raider 1, like the original of this remake that they have. But then
Okay.
I haven't played the second one, the Riser, and then I haven't played the Shadow. But my Twanner says it's pretty good. So he doesn't say in the chat. I can read his mind.
Oh, I
But yeah, he
understand.
says he says it's pretty good. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll try it, but I doubt it. I'd rather play God of War before I play that. I'd rather play Guardians of the Galaxy before I play that. I'd rather play Far Cry. I'd rather play Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's one I really want to play is Valhalla actually.
Okay, I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since like the first one, so I'm really out of date, I think. But no, what else you been playing anyway? Are you still on? You still in Warzone? Is it?
You know, Warzone on occasion. Uh, Vanguard. A little bit of Halo. I kind of slowed down on the Halo because they haven't really released too much content. Even though I pulled an all-nighter playing Halo this
Oh,
last
fair
weekend.
enough.
Yeah, they had an event pass, so I unlocked all the armor I could up to that point. So,
No, fair enough. That's
so
all
yeah,
right though. That's all right.
but no single player games pretty much.
Oh, fair enough. I can fill that void in this discussion. I finished Resident Evil 3 on Sunday. That was
Nice.
it's okay. It wasn't as good as the 2 remake. It was very quick. It was like I finished it in about 5 or 6 hours, something like that. It was alright though. But like I wanted to get on Resident Evil 4 now because I've never actually played it before. So I'm
Oh,
hoping that
okay.
remake's gonna be decent. Um,
I hope so too.
yeah, I think at the moment I'm kind of like in like limbo. I'm like waiting for some other games to come out, but for now I'm back on Fallout 3. Just going on a bit of a throwback, and I'll probably end up continuing that when I get the Steam Deck. And oh, I have an update on my Steam Deck order that I said it so it was something I wasn't going to do, but I actually
Yeah.
tried out with the calculator because I just got the curiosity got the better of me. So I had a look, and it's estimated me a date of either the 1st of August or the 8th of August. That's not bad, I would say.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a month.
But then I also use what's called I can't remember the name of the calculator, but it basically gives you a percentage of where you're at in the queue. And when I first did this on Saturday, it said I was at 25%, which seemed pretty low given like how long we're like how far into it we are.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I could actually. Well, I won't bother putting it up on there now. But yeah, so I was at 25% on Saturday, and then reservations went. Oh, not reservations, but purchase emails went out on Monday, and I went from 25% all the way up to 52% in just one day, which is a pretty
Nice.
big jump if you think about that.
Yeah, that's
Now,
huge.
it's not guaranteed that's going to happen every Monday and Thursday, but if you use that as like an example, that could mean I could get it like next week potentially. So who knows? It might happen, but I'm not like getting my hopes up too much. But like it's looking a bit more promising.
Right.
I think what it is that they're getting to the sort of just past the evening of orders. So orders would have like stopped would have peaked before then, and it would have like sort of dwindled a little bit throughout the evening. So I think that's why there's gonna be a big jump potentially.
And then too, maybe it hits people and it's like, hey, your order's coming up soon, and they cancel it.
There's a
They
lot of
probably
those going
cancel it too.
around, so I reckon that's why.
So more cards are being sent, plus people canceling shortens your line. So whatever it is, I hope you get it soon. Hopefully, I get it eventually. It's just gonna show up on my doorstep one day, and I'll be like, oh, cool.
That'd be a good way of going for it. Tana's just
Speaking
brought up
of,
a
hold
good
on.
point. What's it? Go on.
Oh, I just got a text saying my 3080 is ready to go pick up. So after this, I'll probably go do that.
Nice. That sounds like a good thing. I won't keep you for too long. well,
Yeah,
I
whenever.
I'll have to keep it brief because it's like an absolute.
Okay, all right, we'll
My,
keep
my
it brief.
back
What
is
Tanner has to say.
my back is sticking a bit without being TMI. The mods keep me coming back for RE3 remake. There you go. That's something I've never actually explored with the Resident Evil games, so it might be something that could do that. Or do you mean a lot of the mods that like increase appendages on characters? Maybe that's what he's
Yeah, I
referring to.
think he means that he's a dirty boy.
Say no
He
more.
probably does the he probably does a thong mod.
Why not? You gotta play
Yeah,
the games how you want to play it.
that's true. That's true. Whatever keeps you interested. I'll probably try it in VR.
That's what you're waiting for Resident Evil Village for. Just for
Hey,
like, I'm not even gonna say her name because like last time I
yeah,
said her name, a spam bot came in the chat and went crazy.
yeah,
So,
that's true.
better not
You
do
think a
that.
stranger? You think a Stranger Thing? Have you seen Stranger Things
Yes,
on
I
Netflix?
finished season 4 the other day.
Oh, nice, nice. You think a game in like the Upside Down would be interesting?
Could be, especially with Netflix venturing out into gaming a bit more. They could do something there.
Yeah.
You know what would be good is like an 8-bit. Stranger Things game.
Mm.
That would be really cool. Also, I mean,
It actually would be
maybe stylized
tie in with the
like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder Revenge. That type of like arcade game, but for Stranger Things, that'd be really good. I think.
yeah, that would make sense because it's 80s theme, so it would fit with the retro.
I can
I
see
don't know if you
that.
want to skip to the next topic, just because we're on.
We got to keep things going, you know.
Yeah.
So the next one I wanted to cover on this was a bit of a wild story I came across on the weekend, and that is a bit of context before this. So obviously last week there was an assassination of the ex-Japanese president or prime minister. Not sure, but either way, there's been a bit of confusion because there was the Shinzo Abe killing. Hideo Kojima threatens to sue over false posts. So what happened here was basically, as the article says here, a legendary video game developer has threatened to sue over hoax posts portraying him as Shinzo Abe's killer. Metal Gear creator Hideo Kojima was linked to the shooting of Japan's former prime minister in pictures on website 4chan. The images were
Oh
shared by
wow.
a French politician and reportedly broadcast by Greek and Iranian news outlets. Kojima Productions said it strongly condemns the spread of fake news and rumors that convey false information. The 4chan post used a photo of Kojima and falsely labeled him as a left-wing extremist with a criminal record. It also included a picture of him wearing a type of ushanka or fur hat worn by soldiers in communist Russia, and another of him standing next to a picture of Marxist revolutionary Che Guevara. I can't quite pronounce that.
Che
But
Guevara.
yeah, uh, you obviously know your history better than me. But yeah, so then they sent out this tweet. So here we go. Kojima Production strongly condemns the spread of fake news and rumors that convey false information. We do not tolerate such libel and will consider taking legal action in some cases. Now, that is a pretty wild accusation to like wake up to. Is
Yeah.
like that you've been like accused of assassinating someone, but like
No,
also
like
like
a prime minister, not even just someone, but like the president of a country or.
exactly. But like it's absolutely crazy, and like because the way that the internet works nowadays, with like once one thing is shared, it's almost taken for granted how like easy it is to manipulate this kind of information. And for an outlet that might not be as clued in when it comes to some things on the internet, they'll just spread this like wildfire, and it goes absolutely insane. And
Yeah, 4chan though. Come on.
is 4chan a particularly reliable source of information? I would argue maybe not quite as often as you'd expect, but
Yeah, I wouldn't base anything I see on there. Plus, it says the prime minister was shot with a homemade gun. What does that mean?
did you see the gun? I'm not gonna show it on stream. I feel like that might be like
No, that's
a
fine.
demonetization like
Yeah.
trap.
Can you
But
tell
like
us how he made it?
I don't know about that, you know. But like
Yeah,
you can probably find a guide, you know. But it literally looked like something. It was like like those like really modified guns you get in Fallout 4.
I was about to say, yeah, it looked like a Fallout gun.
It looked
Where
like one
you
of those. But
those
like
little ones made out of wood and plastic.
it's a bit wild. But then like I did see people complaining, oh, this is why gun control doesn't work, and they're like, this is like the second shooting in Japan in like a year. But
Oh
I
wow.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's a whole different discussion for a different
Yeah.
stream. But anyway, so
Well,
going back
fortunate for
to
that.
yeah, but going back to this for Hideo Kojima though. So obviously like he's obviously famous for creating the Metal Gear series, Death Stranding, one of my favorite games, just if I might add. But also, I'm not as familiar with Metal Gear Solid from back in the day. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of discussions in that game to do with false information and echo rooms, stuff like that. You know, so it seems a bit strange that this has suddenly
Yeah,
happened. But
I was gonna say the only credibility I see in this is that they do make games about sneaking around and killing people, so that's the
yeah,
only tie I could see. But yeah, that's wild.
but
And do
this
they even
is
look alike?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, that's racist.
But surely people would be able to say like, oh no, that's Hideo Kojima, the video game developer. But if you're a news outlet, you obviously aren't going to put two and two together when it comes to that. But
They're probably gonna release a statement saying that they're gonna ban the games from where did they say Greek, Iran, and wherever whatever other place it was. He's like, just because of this, you guys get no future games from me now.
I don't know, like like money's a good thing at the end of the day. But
Yeah, that's
maybe
true.
that'll sway his decision, but
Oh, or raise the price at least.
it's to make up for the cost of defamation. It makes total sense.
Yeah. Yep.
But
No lawsuit.
what kind of do you think this sets like a bit of a precedent for how like news outlets would like cover stuff like that in the future?
Oh, hells no, dude. News outlets love just they don't even look up stuff no more. They just go ahead and put stuff out blatantly. ESPN put up a quote from a basketball player yesterday. Um, trashy Michael Jordan. And then
Right,
the basketball player never even said that. It was like a fake Twitter, not a fake, but it's like Barstool. They put a
right.
fake tweet out, just for humor. And ESPN ran with it and said it was like, real. And
Oh,
so
okay.
they didn't even like check any like I don't know, they didn't check no videos, they didn't check to see who the reporter was on that or anything. They just they just ran with it.
It kind of reminds me when the thing that was like this was like the meme of the week back like a couple of months ago when there was the big I don't want to say controversy. It's absolutely ridiculous controversy in the first place. But do you remember when people were kicking off about that picture of a Snickers bar that didn't have like the veins?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
That made it an American news show. I'm sure I said something about that. They were kicking off. They said they actually reported on the fact that Snickers now were dick veinless, is what they
Yeah,
called it.
terrible.
But they just picked it up and went with it. That's why I don't.
Yeah,
Is that like a
yeah.
slow? Is that a slow day? Is that what it is? That's why they would pick up an article, something like that, or just something so stupid.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think news is just I think it's easier. What do they say? It's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. So,
Maybe that applies
it,
there then, perhaps.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy over here, man. It's wild. People say the wildest thing. Fox News, CNN has some crazy stuff too, but uh, I don't
See,
like. I
I
don't
know
know
the
about what
tabloid
people say.
media is a bit over the top in the UK with certain things, but it seems like a bit like it's tenfold in the US. I don't know if there's a particular reason for that. Whether you just gotta get
Views and
those
clicks.
ratings, yeah, or views
Yeah,
essentially. But I don't know. You just get stuff over here with like the news like slamming like the Royals and as if that's something people are interested in. I'm not. There probably are people
yeah.
that are more interested in the Royals than I am, but
I would say like if the Rose do anything, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't pay too much attention to them in the first place. Not enough that it would warrant any sort of reaction out of myself. Or
Actually, right
or
now,
they appear on Oprah as well. You know, so
I I saw this video of Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son. Yeah,
Mhm.
apparently that guy likes to party and have guns and do crack. That's pretty wild.
speaking of 4chan, there was something popping up about him as well. Uh,
Yeah, I was gonna say I think this was the video.
So what is it in the video? Is it stream friendly to know what happened in the video? I'm not quite sure what happened. I just saw something was leaked,
No.
and now it's out in the wild.
Yeah, I'll probably send it to you on Twitter later, but it's not
It's not stream
yeah, it's not
friendly.
it's not stream
Okay,
friendly.
that's all right.
Yeah,
We'll leave it there. If you
they show
send
crack
that,
on there.
send me
That's
something.
about enough.
I'll have to take a look. But
Okay.
yeah. If we move on to our next, this is our first hardware article of this evening. It was one I was particularly interested to actually get your opinion on, Jerry. And
Oh,
that is one. It was one I first picked up after listening to Broken Silicon last night from not last night, last week from Moore's Law is Dead, and that
I
is
like I like that channel.
Moore's
Moore's
Law
Law
is
is
Dead.
dead.
It's pretty good. I'd like
Yeah,
they've got some
he's spot on with his
pretty strong leaks he's got on there. But I like
yeah.
his I first started listening to his podcast with his brother probably about 2 years ago now, and back then I was really into my running, and now not so much because I'm like a bit lazy at times. But that
Yeah.
was I would listen to those on my runs, and it was really good. That was before I can remember it was the build up to when Ampere was coming out, and there's still all the leaks and rumors coming out about that. So it's going back there. But anyway, so the big topic today is the fact that oversupply of used RTX 30 series GPUs could delay RTX 40 series launch. Jerry, I can see you're very excited about this already. But in the article, it says on here, it remains to be pure speculation, but when you think about it, it does make sense. Nvidia's next generation of graphics cards, known as the Ada Lovelace or RTX 40 series, was set to be released in October. Now, I did think I was going to be a bit earlier before that, but I might have changed over like some of the other leaks. But anyway, according to Moore's Law is Dead sources, the bulk of RTX 4000 series were intended to be released in October, but that date may now be pushed out to late Q4 in December. This is not to say that Nvidia will not announce and ship cards like the RTX 4090 before then, but you may have to wait until then. Retailers are noticing decreased demand since the market for second-hand GPUs is flooded with machines used for cryptocurrency mining, and the recent cryptocurrency market slump has aided the problem. Nvidia may announce Ada Lovelace GPUs in October, and they may be available for purchase in December. Of all, these are the most recent industry speculations. We'll have to wait and watch how the market and Nvidia respond. Now, I don't believe it actually outlines it in here, but the basic gist is the fact that this came about because for Ada Lovelace, Nvidia are actually, I think they're moving their manufacturing process from Samsung, which they've typically used in the past, especially for RTX 3000 series, and going to TSMC, which is at this point just a money printing machine at this point when it comes to all the stuff they do for AMD, PlayStation, or Sony rather, Microsoft, Xbox. And basically, they were responsible for wafer allocation with TSMC. So I'm not an expert when it comes to wafer allocation and how they handle their orders, but the basic gist that I understand is they will pay in advance by a significant amount of time for wafer allocation in advance for when they expect to release their hardware. So Nvidia has already paid TSMC for wafer allocation, and that is kind of what was supposed to be set in stone. And now, as I do think we actually touched on this last week, Jerry, was the fact that a lot of retailers and warehouses are now sitting on a lot of stock of RTX 30 series as supply has caught up with demand. And basically, what Nvidia wants to do is they want to sell Ampere stock as much as possible before they launch any new hardware. But
Makes sense.
it makes sense, but they also want to cancel their existing wafer allocations with TSMC. And TSMC was like, nah, bro.
Yeah, we had a deal, man.
They said, you've paid now, we're not able to cancel that. The only options they have are to postpone their actual release for RTX 40 series, or they can find a new buyer for the wafer allocation that they have already invested in. Now, if we were to look at the potential idea of delaying, so say they had to delay Ampere because of this, one of the drawbacks of this is going to be AMD has RDNA 3 coming up. Does AMD play their cards and go, right, we're going to release everything right now, and then AMD has to release Ada Lovelace regardless of if they've still got Ampere stock to clear out? That's one potential idea. Or could they find another source to actually take their wafer allocation? And if that is, who is ready to take on that much allocation?
Yeah.
AMD? AMD's probably caught up already with RDNA 3. And
Intel's already behind.
Intel can't even catch up to last generation, so they're not going to be in any position to be looking at wafer allocation. They already have wafer allocation with TSMC as well as their own fabs, but I think their own fabs are more so for CPUs rather than for graphics. Could they potentially look into automotive? I would argue for automotive, 5 nanometer manufacturing process is way too advanced for vehicles. They're still on even past that, they're on maybe 12, not even, I don't know. What would maybe Tesla? I'm not sure.
I was gonna say Tesla. Yeah, I was gonna say Tesla's the only one that I could think of, but I think some of their headsets or their units, not headsets, their head units, I don't know, whatever, their entertainment systems, they were overheating with the RDNA 2 in there because I don't think they put proper ventilation. They put an enclosed CPU inside of a box pretty much.
Are you telling me Tesla cheaped out on something?
Yeah, or overlooked.
Oh my god, that's a shock.
Yeah. Hey, do they have Teslas over there where you're at?
Yeah, I do see some around. Not that often. I'll see one on my way to work. Basically, I think it must be the same guy driving it. But they do have them over here, and there's charging points for them. Yeah. So, but maybe Tesla. But if you were take your generic car brand, I'm
Yeah,
not.
maybe the newer electric vehicles, but even then, I doubt it. I don't think they're that far ahead.
But a lot of those vehicles are like if they are relying on electronics, they're relying on like wafer supply from maybe from global foundries, and even then they're on like really old like node processors. They're not using anything that's cutting edge like you would be for
Yeah,
graphics. So automotive, no, I don't think they could do that. Uh, Apple, well, I'm not sure who
Apple
Apple.
makes their own. Apple makes their own stuff.
Yeah, so they
Yeah,
got Apple Silicon, so they're not going to be
but
interested in
yeah,
outsourcing.
they switched over. They switched over to the M chips.
But no, I don't know who they could actually like pass that off over to. So their options are fairly limited, to say the
Yeah.
least.
Plus today, the 3090 is on sale for 1350. If anyone wants to help clear up inventory,
So
I thought that was a
I
steal.
think that's gonna be a byproduct of this situation now. So unless one that Nvidia did not want to be in, because
Yeah,
ideally they want to
I
sell
was
it at the
gonna.
highest price possible.
Yeah, I was gonna say their cards are pretty wild compared to AMD right now. Um, their 3060 is what, $400. Their 3060 Ti is like 540, $500. Let's just yeah, it's like 540. So you could get a
Hmm.
6700 XT for 450, $500. You know, why not? Right now they have a 6600 for 250. It's the power color. That's a steal, man. They have 6600 XTs for 300. That's how much this one was 325. So, I mean, Nvidia's gonna have to cut prices if they want to compete with AMD. AMD doesn't care. That's one thing I like. That's one thing I've always liked about them is that they just like to make sales. They like to be the ones that get their cards in people's hands. But
Exactly.
has Nvidia, I think, has always outsold AMD, even though they be
They've
more
got market
expensive.
share though. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
But like part of me like part of me also dropped that Joker meme. It was like you get what you deserve. Like, but like
Yeah.
it's a really interesting position for not just Nvidia, but for like I said for AMD. Like imagine if AMD, I don't think they would. Well, oh, I keep forgetting we're in July now. But imagine like next month AMD was like, right, here's RDNA 3, and that leaves Nvidia scrambling. Like, oh well, we've still got tons of like we got factories full of Ampere cards that we still need to sell off, but we don't want to sell them off at really discounted prices quite yet. They'll have to
Yeah.
play their card in that way and just release whatever they have. But if it does like Twanas has brought up on here, most people buy the older cards when the new ones come out. See, so that's why I'm assuming that Nvidia is hoping isn't possible for people to do because they'll try and like dwindle that supply as much as possible, and then
I was gonna
once they're drip feeding like past gen, then they'll bring out the new hardware. So maybe I don't know.
I say, do you think that they're gonna keep the newer gen cards high for a while if they still have a bunch of inventory of the 3000 series? So that way, the people that do want the newer cards, well, you gotta fork over money, and if you're not patient, then go for it. And then they'll keep the current gen at a decent price. Just be like, well, if you want a deal, get this card, or if you want the new, then pay new prices.
I'd argue that's more
Because
of a concern for the actual like consumer who is looking for like a specific budget card because there is a lot of people who will just go for the flagship regardless of the generation and they do have the money to spare. But it will
yeah,
depend. Like from rumors I've seen, I'm not gonna. I do need to. We'll have to like we do revisit what's happening with the next gen hardware coming out as well as like previous generation in streams. Like we did a bit of a price check last week, but from certain reports I've seen, there's like rumors that the RTX 4060 could be along the similar level as the RTX 3080. So that gives you a bit of an idea of the sort of leap in performance we're expecting with this new generation. That might not be right. Like I said, last you got to take that with a pinch of salt. We will, if we do find reports on that, we will visit it on stream and take a look at it. But for now, though, Nvidia
you
is in a
remember
very
uh,
pickly spot.
you remember the 3090 was an 8K gaming card? That's what they were
That
saying.
was a whole debacle in itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was 8K gaming and for what? Like Minecraft? That's that's the only game it could really do RTX 8K gaming.
See, I would
And then
argue Nvidia
they're
didn't help
saying the
that
40
anyway. Go
they're
on.
saying the 4090 is going to be double the 3090. And what? That's very vague. Yeah, that's probably true in like a certain application or certain applications. But nah, there's no way a 46. I don't know. A 4060 and a 3080? I doubt that. Maybe if you said a 4070 or a 4060 Ti, maybe that's what I don't know. But I feel like that's too far of a jump between
Well, if you
the
take
tiers.
a look at 2080, maybe not Ti. I'd say like 2080 Super compared to
Super?
a 3060 Ti. Not far off, I would argue. Um,
That's true.
what about in terms of memory? The 2080 Super had 8 gigs, I think. Only the 2080 Ti had 11 gigs. I believe. I'm not too sure, but a similar jump if you gen over gen performance. You could argue, but be interested to see. Even still, I'm like you might be interested in this, Jerry. I might be on the hunt for a card very very soon.
Oh, nice. They
Not
have a
enough
6900 XT right now for 750.
potential. It's more budget I'm looking for though. I need something that can use. I'm thinking about doing a stream and capture system dedicated for that,
Yeah.
especially for streaming as well as a lot of the sort of like uh, gaming performance benchmarking videos I'm wanting to do. A bit like Digital Foundry sort of thing. So generally, the only thing I'm particularly after is not like so much a strong performing card, but something that has NVENC encoder and can keep up with what I want to be able to use it for. So maybe I'd look for something like maybe like even like a 3050, something like that. The biggest thing is that I always want to be able to have that encoding process as well as I'll probably end up using my 12600K for that system. So I got a few options when it comes to that, but I'm gonna wait for those prices just to creep lower and lower and just
Yeah.
see from there.
I was gonna say maybe a 3060, the non-Ti. Maybe hopefully if that drops down at a good price, maybe hop on that. That way, if you ever want to use that PC for whatever reason too, you won't be held back by that 3050. You know
Maybe
what I'm saying?
it's
Um,
it's not set in stone
and
yet though. I'll have to wait and see
yeah,
though, just to see what happens on there.
yeah. I was gonna say, well, you're in luck because Nvidia has a bunch of stock of whatever, whatever card you want.
Exactly. So
Oh,
hopefully I'll be spoiled for choice. Hopefully,
oh my goodness. AMD came out with their own encoder that's competing with NVENC, and I'm not
I
sure
have
if it's
not
just
seen
gonna be.
this.
I'm not sure if it's just gonna be on RDNA 3 or if it's gonna be available. I mean, it has to be in RDNA 3 only. But I think I remember seeing something they might have made it available in an update, which I don't see possible. So
Let's have a look.
yeah, geez, I don't know why I didn't send you the. I didn't even know why I think about it. I just read it and I didn't think anything about it. I was just like, oh, that's cool. That's something I have
AMF
a problem.
encoder. That the one? I'm guessing it must be. This is like an article from five
Yeah,
days ago. After
yeah,
almost a decade of quality issues, AMD's AMF encoder has finally received a massive upgrade in image quality thanks to the introduction of B frames in AMF release 1.4.24. The update actually dropped months ago, but it wasn't until yesterday that Chris Griffith from Code Calamity finally put the new update to the test. According to Griffith, he saw massive gains from the update. The AMF encoder was able to close in on the NVIDIA's newest NVENC encoder found in its RTX 20 series and 30 series GPUs. This update could see AMD Radeon GPUs as much more viable solution for game streaming, with low bitrate images looking almost as good as NVIDIA's counterpart. Okay, I'll take a bit of a closer look at that article at a different day, I think, but that might be something.
Hmm.
I
You know
can't really
what? That
I can't verify that for myself though. You may have to do some investigation on that.
yeah, interesting. Yeah, like I said, I literally read it and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Everyone will love this. And then I think I went to bed.
It's like I forgot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I got a 6800, a 66 XT, and a 6800 XT. I could try it out on all three of those. Interesting, huh?
Well, I think
Yeah.
that's something
Well,
you should do. You could do a video on there. I don't know.
yeah, and yeah.
It's
That's what I'm
a
saying.
bit different.
But yeah, I don't even know why I didn't send you the link. But anyways, I brought it
You're
back,
letting the
so
side
let's
down. Come on,
continue.
what's happening?
Yeah, I know. I got distracted. I was playing Resident Evil 3 with
That's fair
mods on.
enough. No, I'd be really interested to check that out though, because that's one of my like when I'm not thinking about gaming centric features for Nvidia cards. I do really appreciate having an NVENC encoder. But if AMD does have a competitor to that, that just makes things even more interesting because competition
Oh yeah,
is always the best.
plus that brings your budget, or that brings what available card you can get down too. So instead of getting a 3050, maybe you can get that 6600. for maybe over there it's comparable prices.
Or 6500 XT, because that's great for streaming, as we
Now
found out last
that
week.
doesn't have. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Yeah, that's terrible.
I forgot to find that
Right.
like that tweet from that influencer that was trying to plug the 6500 XT as an excellent streaming device. I was like,
Yeah. Well, maybe the update fixed it. Maybe it added the encoder in there.
who knows?
Huh.
So
Well,
I
I
think we
guess.
should I think we should get to our headline topic for today,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh yeah.
this is something that we did actually discuss as it started to develop over a couple of months ago. I can't remember how long ago this started happening now, but the big news I think we've all been waiting on, and that is Elon Musk pulls out a 44 billion deal to buy Twitter. If only
Wait,
his.
wait, 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 wait. Did they put pull out on purpose in the
I
headline?
was just about to say, if only his pullout game was much better than that already. But anyway, this is a family-friendly show, Jerry. Okay, right.
What? We're talking about the deal.
Yeah. So, in this BBC article, we can see on here Elon Musk is seeking to end his $44 billion or £36 billion bid to buy Twitter, alleging multiple breaches of the agreement. The announcement is the latest twist in a long running saga, excuse me, after the world's richest person decided to buy Twitter in April. Uh, is Elon Musk the world's richest at the moment? I thought Jeffrey Bezos
I think so.
was. Maybe not.
I think Elon is now, or they're going back and forth. I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
after this, we'll see.
He's pretty rich, just to throw it out there. Mr. Musk said he had backed out because Twitter failed to provide enough information on the number of spam and fake accounts. Twitter says it plans to pursue legal action to enforce the agreement. The Twitter board is committed to closing the transaction on the price and terms agreed upon with Mr. Musk. Twitter chairman Brett Taylor wrote in a tweet, setting up a potentially long and protracted legal battle between the two sides. The original merger agreement includes a $1 billion breakup fee. So the big thing we were kind of holding out on, and there was, I think there was pause briefly back when this first. Here we go. So it was back April. I thought it was much longer ago than that. So the big thing they had to address first was that Elon wanted to know the number of actual legitimate human accounts that were on Twitter, and I think they wanted to make sure that number was at least less than five. Yeah, it says on here. So if I could continue on here, so in May, Mr. Musk said the deal was temporarily on hold as he was awaiting data on a number of fake and spam accounts on Twitter. The billionaire businessman had asked for evidence to back the company's assertion that spam and bot accounts make up less than 5% of its total users. So yeah, he was wanting to make sure there was less than 5% of the users were spam or bot accounts or whatever it is like that. And it seems that basically Twitter couldn't actually prove that based on this report, and that is the reason why he is now pulling out of this deal. Now, obviously, like the big thing is concerning for Twitter now is obviously they basically want to sue for damages. If you look back to what was happening when this first happened, there was a big sort of mass exodus of Twitter employees that didn't want to continue working for Twitter after this kind of buyout would even occur. Um, but obviously,
Plus, their stock crashed.
and that as well. So Twitter could well be within their rights to actually sue for damages at the end of the day. But we do have to remember that Elon is no stranger to manipulating businesses and the markets, especially when it comes to what he did
Doge.
with Doge and with Bitcoin as well. So if you're not familiar, basically, Elon Musk said that Tesla would now accept Doge and Bitcoin as payment, and that basically drove the price of those cryptocurrencies well up. And then suddenly he was like, "Oh no, we don't accept that anymore because of the environmental impact that it has." So clearly, he's just pumped up those numbers, bought into the dip, raised it up,
Pulled,
cashed
pulled
out,
out.
and then said no, I'm
Oh,
done.
yeah, catch that.
But yeah. What are your what's your impressions with this, Jerry? I think this was actually. Oh no, I think this may have been one of the very first topics we covered in your first ever episode of Tech Flashback, or
Hmm.
maybe no.
Was
I'm
that
not.
was that when I was just a guest, or was that my first co-host one?
Oh no, I might be missing up. But I think we did talk about this in one of the
No, we
earlier
have talked
streams.
about it for sure.
Yeah.
This is lore for us now.
Oh yeah.
This is part of our lore. Yeah. I sent you a meme. I don't know if you can bring that up in the Discord. The only thing I hate about Elon Musk fanboys is when they do stuff like this. Like someone made this meme about Elon Musk. It said they said I couldn't buy Twitter. Shows his face. He says then they wouldn't disclose bot info. Now they want to force me to buy Twitter in court. He said now they had to disclose bot info in court. Like if this was all an elaborate plan he made, so they can release the info in court. And he obviously retweeted that.
Yeah.
That
Well, it's
and
I don't know. It's like I think you put it really well the last time we talked about this, and it was like rich people are going to do rich people things. But like, could any of this be sort of like this? But I don't know if I'm putting like a tinfoil hat on for this. Obviously, like he's hot in the waters after this whole thing has come out about a Tesla employee that has had his baby. But
yeah,
this was around the time that his like ex-wife had just had their baby that they named after a car battery or something like that.
yeah,
But like, that's also a bit of a troubling issue to land him in some hot water anyway. Whether that
yeah,
be like, I don't know if it's even tied in so much with that. There was a bit of a thing going back and forth with him involved with Amber Heard, especially when
yeah.
all that stuff was going
I
on.
thought I thought you were saying Nick Cannon.
No, no, not that. But I don't know. I don't feel like that sort of stuff would influence this deal as greatly. But
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Like I
so
said, the only reason I don't like stuff like this is because then people say like, oh, it's premeditated. Like this was his plan the whole time. Elon Musk is playing chess while everyone's playing checkers. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe he had some sort of idea, but like too crazy.
what does he stand to benefit from saying he's going to buy Twitter and then pulling out? What's the benefit of that?
I guess getting Twitter cheaper is what people are trying to say that the original 40 billion or whatever he was going to pay now since in court if they have to prove that it's all bots that the deal can go.
Okay, right, I can see that.
But, but yeah, I guess. But at the same time, either way, buying Twitter is a lose-lose situation. You're not gonna make no money off Twitter, man. Like we literally talked about this, and how many people are gonna like you as the mod of Twitter?
Exactly. There was like the force like maybe he could like introduce like a premium like service for Twitter, which could actually add
Twitter
like
Blue.
bring in some like bigger like revenue for Twitter. Twitter Blue, is that an actual thing? Because I thought there was a thing going around where they
I
like you could pay to have a service and you could actually edit tweets among some other
yeah,
things.
I don't know if that's still going on, but I remember at a time that was a thing. Piece of Us vlogs. I think we covered that in our old podcast.
Okay. Well, maybe something like he could have introduced something like that to try and bring in some revenue for Twitter in the first place. But there was also the thing as well that we brought up that the fact that when he said he was interested in buying it, he was obviously like wanting to make sure it was like a place for uh, information, regardless of your sort of affiliation, left or right, is safe to be shared. And then after that, there was a huge influx of extremely far right users, just to say the least. So he has manipulated Twitter in a sense as well when it comes to its actual user base as well. But I'm not surprised by this thing happening in the first place. It was
Yeah.
even when it first popped up, it still seemed like a bit of an unbelievable like thing to read. But now to have this confirmation that he's just decided, nah, I'm good. It's even more interesting. What
Pull
would
out game strong.
we've confirmed this,
Well,
Jerry. We confirmed this, Jerry. It's not that good.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
When it comes to businesses.
which way do you think it could go? Do you think it's more?
I think he just regretted his decision. He probably realized like, or either he never really was serious about buying it. It kind of seems like because he was making him jump through a bunch of. Do you know anything about boxing?
No, but do you have
Okay.
like like an
Well, this is like the Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao fight. Floyd Mayweather wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao for so long, but every time it came to the fight, he would make these ridiculous demands. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do it a certain way. Certain this, certain drug tests, blood drawn, this and that, and it's like it was ridiculous. Like some of the stuff he had him do, and then by the time they did end up fighting, it was already like when they're way older, and like when the hype and interest for that fight wasn't as strong anymore. So, Elon Musk is giving these ridiculous demands and, making all this stuff. And by the time he does go to buy it, it'll probably be a lot cheaper and Twitter probably won't be as maybe as interesting. I'm not too
I
sure.
can see the similarity, but there, like, yeah, I do need a bit. If it's anything like boxing or anything to do with sport, I do need a bit of like I need a bit of like
A walkthrough.
explanation, you know. Which is why it's handy that you're here, Jerry. Like, because obviously you're much more well informed when it comes to this, anyway. But yeah, like Piece of Us just said on here now. So he said he wouldn't put past him to have that plan. So it does seem within the realm of possibility to have something like that ongoing in the first place for him. But which way could you see it going? Like
Quick
let's
question to a piece of his vlogs. Do you own any Tesla stock?
we need to know this. This is a very important question to answer.
Go
Like what we'll do, we'll use this episode as our point to make like a point of like placing our bets. So Twitter versus Elon, who's coming out on top? And then we'll revisit this episode in like a year's time after this
Yeah.
all is all like blown over.
I'll just say Twitter.
Okay.
I don't think Elon has any intention of buying it now. I guess I flip flop from my original statement.
Well, we'll revisit this video in like a year's time, and if that is true, then you get a free like 6500 XT. There you go. There's your
Okay,
price.
cool. What do you think?
I'm on the same side as you. I think Twitter, to be honest, it does seem like they have been left in a position that is a bit more unfortunate compared to where Elon is going to be. And
Chat, you guys want to let us know what you think? If
let us know in the chat as well, because we need to, if we can get a general consensus of what is actually happening here, we can decide. Tell you what we'll do. I wonder. I can. This is something I've never actually attempted to do. I can create a poll in the chat. I'm gonna create a poll, and at the end of the stream, we will see who it is. So we will go Elon Musk versus
who will win the battle?
Twitter. I can't really. Oh, add an option. Okay, there we go. So let's go Elon.
Who will be the top?
Here we go. Let's see if this works. This is my first ever time like sending out a poll into the chat. Here we go.
A piece of us vlog said they had a stock in Tesla. Interesting.
Right. I don't know if that poll actually makes much sense anyway. It says yes, no, Elon Twitter. So you guys can you can figure it out, and we'll take it from there, and we will check it out at the end of the stream in a couple of minutes' time. So
Check the poll.
it's always good when you find something new and like you figure something out. Like I'm still a bit of a stream noob, and I just try to figure things out as I go. But yeah. So you guys can have a go on that, and we shall see where it's looking in a couple of minutes' time. Is this a 1v1 quickscope battle? Well, Elon would win that, surely. Do you know like much of what he's into? Like he's into gaming.
Women
and women as well. Well, maybe I'd get on really well with Elon, not because of women, but like his favorite game is Fallout 4 apparently.
Nice.
So
you dirty dog. You guys have that in common. Yeah.
Good joke.
Elon's like, I like this nuclear wasteland. So we should do something about that.
Exactly. So the last thing I wanted to cover in today's stream, and no, this is what I was getting confused with. It wasn't your very first episode where you were a guest that we talked about Elon Musk buying Twitter. It was this article. And that was the fact that the James Webb Telescope has now given us some of its first images since it went out into space over, it was about 7 months ago at this point now. And I won't show the images yet. We'll have a little look at what the article says on here so we see. Coming in up. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope. Sorry, go on, Jerry.
I'll say a quick brief history. I remember you asked me what tech I was most looking forward to seeing.
This was it.
This year. And this is the answer I gave you. So you can go on now.
So your wish is coming true. You finally find out a bit more about what's going on now.
Yeah. And this is why it's called TechFlashback, because we flash back to that tech.
Exactly.
I was looking forward. Forward to.
So, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has delivered the deepest and sharpest infrared image of the distant universe so far. Webb's first deep field is galaxy cluster I'm not going to read out though. SMASCS blah blah blah, and it is teeming with thousands of galaxies, including the faintest objects ever observed in the infrared. Webb's image is approximately the size of a grain of sand held at arm's length, a tiny sliver of the vast universe. The combined mass of the galaxy cluster acts as a gravitational lens, magnifying more distant galaxies, including some seen when the universe was less than a billion years old. This deep field was taken by the Webb's near-infrared camera is a composite made from images at different wavelengths, totaling 12.5 hours, achieving depths at infrared wavelengths beyond the Hubble Space Telescope's deepest fields, which took weeks. And this is only the beginning. Researchers will continue to use Webb to take longer exposures, revealing more of our vast universe. And you guys ready for this? Do you want to see how insignificant we are as like a species? Here we go.
Are y'all ready for this?
Now, obviously, that's going to be a bit delayed for you, Jerry. But like, this just to try and like put it into perspective when you see this actual image. Like I think I mentioned about this like when I get really like spaced out. When I get spaced out by space stuff, and just realize how small we are, like stuff like this just kind of just like completely blows my mind. But yeah, so I think from what I read, there's a couple of like you see these like bits where there's like the sort of like I don't know how you describe it, like the sort of like lines coming off of them, these like spikes, yeah, the sort of spikes coming off them here. Those are stars, I think they said, but all of these individual dots are galaxies.
You can see one with the swirls around it too on the right.
Oh right, okay, yeah, I can see that, but there, yeah. But yeah, so every single one of those is a galaxy, which is like, I'm speechless, honestly. I don't really know what like how you can comprehend something like that.
This is 13 billion light years away, which means this was 13 billion years ago. And Piece of Us Vlogs, we were talking about this. So this was 13 billion years ago. They said a couple, what is it, a couple 100,000 or a couple million years after the Big Bang. So this is around the time our universe was barely created, what we're looking at right now. So
that's insane.
Yeah. So technically we're looking around the time of when our galaxy was, or our universe is barely being created.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna like go back to like the other screen. Like we'll just leave that there, like for this, like the rest of this stream. But like,
you should have put that as my wallpaper.
Exactly, that'd be pretty good. But like, it's completely like, it's insane. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like I just wanted to like show you guys this picture because it's absolutely astonishing to look at.
You know how they said in that description to hold the grain of rice like at arm's length, and you're looking at it, and you'll be looking at that grain of rice will be how many galaxies? Or they said, let me see, I'll go down real quick. Whatever they said in that grain of rice, they'll just be like oh, this one said 4.6 billion years ago. Anyways, it's just a bunch of galaxies in that grain of rice that you'll be looking at just at that length distance. So it's just insane. Is this the only picture you had? You haven't seen any other pictures, or?
I thought this was like the main one that has been doing the rounds.
Okay, I could send you some right now, actually. This was the. Yeah, I'll send you some right now. But yeah, it's just insane. Like you said, the magnitude and scope of this, and I like. This is why I want to show you more because they came out with 4 new photos.
Does it show any other ones in this article? I wonder, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out too.
There's no another one coming up on there.
Yeah, and this is the actual NASA website. Oh, I think I found it. So there's one with 4 clustering. If you click on the NASA button on the on the top left.
Ah, okay, I can see one here now.
I think NASA is safe for work. You see the cosmic cliffs. That's a brand new one, and then the one under it, the sheds light on galaxy evolution, black holes, and then on the bottom. I don't know exactly where you are. But
I'll just look at it. I'll show up like all of them at the same time in here. So we've got quite a selection that we're looking at.
Yeah, it's pretty much those 4, the top 3, and then the one right under the main one you had, which is the dying stars. Okay, so now we're on the cluster. Okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's oh, that one's really cool. Bring this one up.
Yeah, so that's 4 galaxies right next to each other, and I think they're saying there's a black hole.
maybe. And then this other one I've got
Or
here looks almost like a sort of beach one I'm looking at the moment. Uh,
yeah,
you'll see it pop up now as well on there, but
and with the
absolutely
cosmic,
insane.
with the stars behind the cosmic cloud.
That's it. That's the one I'm looking at. Like that looks like something that's like a Photoshop. Like literally, it's crazy.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about this too? So we were talking about Thor, right?
Yes.
Like some of the Marvel movies, their their image of space is pretty close to this. Like a lot of the stuff that they render, when
Oh
they show all
yeah.
their space stuff, it looks pretty damn close to a lot of this crap we're looking at, which is wild to for us to imagine what this looks like and kind of getting close to it.
See, now when it comes to this sort of stuff, I'm kind of like I say it's out of my field, and I can never find like the right words to describe something like this. So, as an achievement, like what do you think this means, Jerry?
Um, for what this picture here?
As an achievement, like when it comes to like just space in general, like it's obviously going to have like ramifications for like the future images we look at space,
Well,
because these are some of the highest quality pictures we've seen. I would argue.
I I think this is gonna change the way that we think of life. Not like philosophical, but as a matter of like what can be made, what's made of life, and what we're made of, and what can sustain life. Because we're actually gonna be able to see different ecosystems, and it's gonna be pretty dope, honestly. Because I mean, we're gonna be able to see stuff we never seen possible. We're gonna probably see some wild looking planets, some wild looking galaxies. That what did they say? Wasn't there one that rained lava? Weren't we talking about something like that?
It's currently raining lava where I am right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so stuff like that. So like they're gonna be able to figure out what theories are right and wrong, and then obviously they're gonna be able to come out with new theories, and hopefully that just keeps pushing us forward to figuring out what's out there. And it's kind of crazy that this is coming out at the same time that all these UFO sightings and stuff are coming out too. This is my conspiracy theory coming out.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe they kind of know that we're kind of close to finding out some life forms. If you look at the top left of that cloud,
Okay.
I don't know if you could see it. That kind of looks like a little like a skeleton with the
Oh,
what is
okay.
it? This,
I can see it there. I think I can just about see what you're referring to
yeah,
there.
obviously that's nothing. But I'm just saying that tripped me out right now when I was looking at it. But yeah, like Matt said, understanding more and just figuring out what the hell we're Elon's gonna fly us to Mars after this. Everything goes back to Elon. This is his plan.
That's the
Yeah, I
ultimate
just like
goal,
the fact.
clearly.
Yeah, I just like the fact that we're gonna be able to see like how we were, how stuff was made. If we're looking at 13 billion years ago or however many it was, if they're saying it's around the Big Bang, then we might be able to observe other places that are a little more ahead of that and see what's going on with them.
I gotta be honest. I think that's quite the thought to leave the stream with tonight. That's absolutely crazy. I did want to cover that obviously because I is like one that does go back a fair bit, but that was a really good one on there. I'm just catching up on the chat again now. So Twana said we are carbon-based life forms, so to assume there's other life in space is to assume there's other carbon-based life forms like us. Well, exactly. That's the one thing that is going to be very interesting to comprehend, and always will be until something does crop up, and you never know.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, so obviously they're gonna work with what we know, like you said, carbon-based life forms. So they're gonna try to see similar planets, similar things that are like us, so they can try to find life like us. But at the same time, since the universe is so huge, who knows if other life forms are gonna be carbon-based? You never even know what sustains them and whatnot. So that's gonna be interesting as well. So if the crazy thing is, if we can see this far, does that mean other life forms, if there are any out there, can see us, or they have the capability of looking this far as well?
You never know. I just hope that the very first time we come across alien life, it looks something like this. It'll pop up sometime soon. I just like the ALMAO aliens. This is all the like we'll get a really crystal clear image, and it'll look something like what pops up on here now. But if that is something we'll have to like think about in like a future episode when it does actually pop up, just to see what the world is going to think about aliens when they first arrive. Those are the exact aliens I'm referring to.
Hey,
Hey,
let's go.
Yeah. On that note,
Well,
I am gonna have to try and draw it close. I am sweating buckets in this room.
uh,
Sorry, Jerry. What was it
I
you
was,
were saying?
I was gonna say it'd be crazy if there are aliens that are 13 billions away looking at us. If they zoom in on my location, all they're gonna see is these nuts. Let's go.
Nice. Let's before we head out, let's take a look at this poll because I can end this now. And where are the results? Don't tell me I just got rid of the results. Oh no, I got it on here. There we go. So that was very conclusive. 50% Elon, 50% Twitter. Well, I think Twitter's winning in this because I'm adding my vote to there. So yeah, I think we're looking good on there. So we'll revisit this video and we'll see that most of us were in favor of Twitter when it comes to this. And when this is all done and dusted, we'll find out.
I think we've been hacked by Russia.
Maybe that's it. The Russians getting involved yet again. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's episode of Tech Flashback. If you enjoyed it, then please feel free to like and subscribe for more streams on the way soon. And as you can see from the newly designed stream layout, you can show your support elsewhere, whether it's on Patreon or joining us on Discord or subscribing to us and liking, following, doing all of that stuff wherever we've shown on there. And I did mention to Jerry prior to the show, I don't believe there will be an episode of Tech Flashback next week, only because I am going to be a bit caught up with a video I've got planned for next week, but we will be back 2 weeks from today. And thanks to Twanners and Piece of Us for tuning in to today's stream. It's been good hanging out with you guys, and we will hope to see you guys in the next one as well. And thanks for watching. We shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Peace.
And as we did before, we'll roll that intro, outro out, and boom, we're out.